Now, if you grew up on the internet in any capacity, you probably have had a run-in with an aesthetic online at some point. This could be the coquette aesthetic, dark academia, cottagecore, bloatcore for more recent references, opium or whatever, if you even want to consider that an aesthetic. But yeah, there's a lot of aesthetics. That's the point, right? Now, what aesthetics really should be helping you doing is connecting to something that you know is inside of you and figuring out how to visually represent it, right? Some people are already there in their journey and you might just be starting yours, so you can need a little bit of help. And these aesthetics could help you, on Tumblr from back then, or Pinterest, or even Instagram, right? But nowadays, aesthetics are waved around kind of like badges of honor, and you get tokens for dressing like a certain style or identifying for a certain group. So a lot of people identify with aesthetics to kind of like costume and dress up and be somebody that they're not. Now, ultimately, costuming and having fun in a different style isn't more like, it's not inherently wrong, right? That's not the main problem. The main problem is when people latch onto aesthetics that aren't really like them and they're just doing it because they've seen somebody else do it, or if they're latching onto an aesthetic and they don't actually know what their personal style is, or they're just jumping from aesthetic to aesthetic to aesthetic and they don't have like something to return to. And that's the problem with aesthetics. You can make an aesthetic like your entire thing, and it's just not you at all, and you can end up like having an identity crisis at some point. Today, we're going to talk about the harmful effects of aesthetics and how chasing and assimilating an aesthetic can actually destroy your sense of self and your sense of personal style. Before we get into it, please like and subscribe. I make fashion content here on TikTok and I guess on Instagram too, but I mainly just post fit pics over there. But please like and subscribe and share with somebody who you think would enjoy the video. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out, it encourages me, and it's free. So without further ado, let's get more into the topic of aesthetics, right? Now, if we don't know what an aesthetic is, I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. I hope my definition is correct, but an aesthetic is basically like a visual theme or a visual representation of, like, I don't want to say a cohort, but let's say like a social class or a part of society, like a subculture. So we have punk, gothic, emo, quiet luxury, croquette or croquette. I think it's croquette, right? Croquette, workwear, gorpcore, like the list goes on, right? There are more widespread ones like streetwear, which is basically like 80% of the dress of like the youth nowadays. And then there's like the specific subcultures like scene, where it's like really colorful glasses most of the time, dyed hair, drapey shirts, video gaming or ironic satirical like prints on the front. Ones that are like mainly popular on the internet, like how Opium Core kind of started on the internet because of Playboy Cardi and his label. So it has like the all black with specific brands like Rick Owens being a recurring theme in it. Like how Bloatcore was like a thing in real life, but the internet basically took it and turned it into its own thing. But it's still like the same look for the most part, but now it's like a lot of other people are doing it, so it kind of got globalized and democratized, right? The thing is, firstly, well, not even firstly, because we've gotten into this video by some point, right? But I would like to say I'm personally a culprit of like costuming and dressing in styles that aren't 100% true to me at all. The only thing that my style probably has as a common denominator is that I love wacky like shirts that have like really cool graphics on this. Like this is like a tour shirt from Enjoy, this band, or not really a band, this artist that I really like. But a lot of the shirts I have, like, I say this because they fit differently. They fit baggy or they fit like close, like this tight sleeve, short length, long sleeve. But a lot of them have in common, they have like at least like some slight distinct nature. Like, oh, that's actually a really interesting shirt. To me though, it's inherent to me and what I find interesting. That's like for shirts. And like for pants, I really like wacky pants with really weird features. Just things that you don't see every day, but like it's inherent to what I find to be interesting. Somebody could find a selvage denim pants interesting when they roll the sleeves. I mean, they roll like the bottom of the foot, what that's called, like the cuffs, like the foot cuffs, whatever. They could find that interesting and that could be their aesthetic. Now, I like to dress in like streetwear styles or opium styles or a lot of different styles, and it may not be 100% my style, but the only reason why I feel like it's not harmful is because I always have something that I can return to, which is like skinnier, more wacky, more unserious looks, right? Don't mind the Vaseline, I don't know why I did that. But a lot of people get into style, and this is no shame on them because it's kind of hard, especially when you don't have any guidance. A lot of people get into fashion and finding their personal style, and they're bombarded with like all these different walking billboard looking people on TikTok. Like imagine having no idea about fashion and you see like one of those wisdom anime videos where he's looking crazy and like he's doing that thing with his eyes behind the glasses. That could probably be pretty overwhelming when you see all these people with all these crazy looks. Now me personally, again, this might not apply to anybody or everybody I should say, because this is my personal experience, but I used to think I always had to be like extremely fly going outside because of how TikTok basically made me feel like everybody was fly, because everybody that I saw on TikTok was fly, right? Until one day you're fly as hell after skating and they're in a Chipotle and there's everybody looking regular and you're out there looking like a Power Ranger and you're like, oh my god, is this my life? Like, is this what it's become? But yeah, aesthetics basically it pushes this. It doesn't push an idea. Like aesthetics aren't even harmful. Like aesthetics are there for the people who need it. But if you don't have any guidance and you say, oh, this looks cool, and you make this your entire thing, there's a difference between something that you think looks cool and something that's actually your personal style. Things that look cool, I enjoy things that look cool. I enjoy Rick Owens and I enjoy J.W. Anderson and Bottega Veneta. But are all of those my personal style? No, not really. I think it looks cool, but it wouldn't really be my personal style. My personal style is the stuff that's in my closet that I wear the most, right? When people indulge in things that look cool and like assimilate it into their own wardrobe, it's part of the growing process. So you can make mistakes here and there and you can experiment and try new things to find out what you like and what you don't like, because that's the only way you're gonna do it, right? But when you center these things in your life as such a big part, like, oh, I'm a this girly, I'm a that girly, or I'm this type of guy, or I'm that type of guy, and it's not really you, it can become harmful if you really put yourself in that own trap, because you're the only person that can do it to yourself, right? Or if you believe like what people on the internet are saying about how this is gonna level up your style. That's a side note, right? Don't listen to those top 10 essentials, like top 10 things I'm going to be wearing this spring or this summer. That can help you find new clothes that you like, but it's like, don't be copying these people's wardrobe one for one. You know what I mean? Or like saying, oh, everybody's wearing this, I should wear it too. That should be like a given, but a lot of people don't think about it like that. I just feel like I have to say it. But yeah, don't go too hard on any aesthetic without really taking your time first, because it's not a race. Nobody's rushing you to find your personal style at all. Trust me, bro. There are people who are 40 and still kill every look they do because they took their time, and personal style is something that develops throughout the years, so things change. It just might not change as much as you get older, but I'm assuming you're like between like the ages of like 15, 16 to like 25 if you're watching this video. There's still so much time to like change and grow and learn, right? Don't just make your entire thing, oh, I'm this person, I'm that person. And don't do it. You can do it if you know that's what you are, right? Because that's the whole point of an aesthetic, right? It's not about just picking something and running with it. You can, I guess that's like, even so, if you do that, it's a mistake, but I guess it's a part of the experience. At some point, you might just stop and look in your closet and look on all these clothes like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? And that's also aided by like trends, because trends have an extremely short shelf life nowadays, especially if they started on the internet. They get put in, rolled around for some content, people take their pics at it, people do maybe a few TikToks with it, and when it stops getting that views and when it stops, being the center of the conversation, it gets thrown to the side and all of a sudden you don't hear about it anymore. And the smaller and more niche the trend is, the shorter the shelf life is, right? So that's why you hear about things like Goblin Core and like they get thrown out the window immediately. I think it's 100% more beneficial to look at something that's more timeless and long lasting. Because if you care about like your style being in style, then I guess you will never go out of style if you're not wearing anything trendy. Now, there's nothing bad about trends. Trends help people find things that they like, but don't base like your entire wardrobe on like an aesthetic trend or something without like, just be open-minded and don't pour a whole bunch of money into it, because overconsumption is a problem and going broke for drip is a no. Sorry about that. And honestly, something that's worthwhile in terms of aesthetic can almost take searching. There's a brand for everybody out there. There's a brand for you right now, there's a brand for you and who you were 5 years ago, and there's a brand for you who you're going to be in the next 5 years and the next 10, 15, so on. If you really care enough, you can go and find it. It's hard, but it's definitely out there, and there's everything on the internet, bro. Like, even if it's a brand in Vietnam or China or something, it's out there for you, right? But honestly, I don't I understand where the aesthetic assimilation comes from, because sense of community is inherently like a thing that all human beings crave at some point in their life. Even if you're like, oh, I don't need anybody, I'm good by myself, at some point in your life you want it to be included in like a larger scale community, right? And of course fashion can help you like join this community that you want, because it's like a visual identification. Like, oh, you wear this too? Like, if I wear this Enjoy shirt and somebody who actually listens to Enjoy side, they'd be like, oh my god, is that an Enjoy shirt? And I'll be like, yeah. And then we start talking about Enjoy, and there's a good chance that we become friends. So of course, fashion is all about identity. Whether you like it or not, the moment you put on clothes, it kind of is like costuming. I like sending off like a radar to people who actually know that, oh, you're into that. As a result of this, the less expressive the clothes are, the more somebody's not going to pay you any mind or think anything about you. But if you're wearing something that's very, very specific to like a cartoon or like a TV show or a certain artist or a certain sport or video game or something, you're gonna find those type of people, right? So that's the way how like an aesthetic can help you be yourself and push yourself out to the world with your 100% self at the forefront. Now, of course, a classic example of like aesthetics being butchered, or not really aesthetics being butchered, or like representation being falsely, what's the word I'm looking for? Representation being falsely, I don't want to keep on saying assimilated, but like adapted, is like when you're wearing like a Nirvana shirt and somebody's like, "Oh, you're a Nirvana fan? What's your favorite 5 Nirvana songs? Quickly, what are they?" Like, like people want to really see if you're about that, but that's like harmless, because if you like a band shirt, that's cool. But like I'm saying, on a widespread like level, if you're really pushing everything into this one look because I just want to be like a Mew Mew girly, so you buy all the Mew Mew, or I want to be like a quiet luxury girly, so you buy all the quiet luxury type items, or mob boss wife, so you go heavy into that just for the sake of the look. It can be fun, but it can also be harmful to like your sense of identity. That's what this whole video is basically talking about. So I'm gonna try and wrap it up now. Take your time. You have to know yourself before you know the clothes. The clothes can't, like, okay, hold on. You can find your style with the clothes you wear, but the clothes can never tell you who you are. You have to paint your own picture with the clothes. You have to know who you are first, then seek out how to represent it. That's why aesthetics help, because there are people out there that are just like you. You're not that different, you're not that special, okay? There's something for everybody, and aesthetics help find it. Aesthetics are not supposed to give you a new personality of the week, or the month, or the year. They're supposed to be guidelines by people who have already made it, who you can be like, oh my god, they're just like me, because they actually are. But it's not supposed to be some type of hardcore guideline that you can just follow whenever you get bored of your last look, so you just hop ship and you keep hopping ship until there's no more ships to hop on. It's all about personal style and who you are at the end of the day. Find that first and find the aesthetic, not the other way around, please. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Dolce Jeans again. I make fashion content here on YouTube. I do some on TikTok and I do some on IG as well. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. It helps me know what people like and what people don't like, if I'm doing well, and it encourages me to make more videos. I'm always going to be making these videos anyway, but the encouragement is nice and appreciated. So thank you so much for watching. I would like some feedback too. I appreciate all feedback, knowing what I did wrong, well, what I could improve on in terms of like recording or editing, or how I go about making these videos anyway. So any feedback is appreciated. If you want to leave a comment or text me on any app that I include. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.